Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for you got it, Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles can be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. The message always goes to the person that needs to hear the message. We get what we need, not what we want. So the messages, especially on this channel, will focus on the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and we see how they play out as karmic themes. Because again, life is a school. The universe brings you people, situations, and experiences that are going to change your mind and your heart. And the universe is God, and that energy is of made up of unconditional love. And that's the energy that's inside of all of us. When we detach and disassociate from this energy, we're rejecting parts of ourselves. And so when we reject parts of ourselves, we disassociate. So we're not really even aware anymore that that's what we're doing, because over time, suppressed energy becomes repressed energy. You've conditioned your body to, think a certain way, act a certain way. We all form habits and behaviorisms to try to recreate the balance, because whenever we're spiritually out of alignment, we feel energetically imbalanced. And we know that because we crave sugar, we crave outside things to fill us. We can't sustain our own energy. Again, so we go over shop, we overbuy, we overeat. We get into relationships that are, not really the best for us, but we're not really aware because we're not balanced. So these readings are not just going to tell you what your person's going to do, what they did do, though those are important factors because we'll look at your triggers, but they'll help you integrate the spiritual lesson and transmute the negative energy, because you're the alchemist of your life. You can't just get rid of negative energy. You have to see a different perception. You have to embody the new consciousness. Now, anything of any importance or relevance in the channel or me, you can find in the description box. That includes the word of the video, and the word of the video is always on the first card that I pull out. It's the underlining energy that tells us why everyone's doing what they're doing. Lately, I've been pulling two cards from two different decks, and my social goats link, really important for those of you that are looking for group coaching at a really, 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 really affordable price. I now have a subscription. It's going to be on Social Goats. It's going to be $25 a month, and you will be able to be interactive with me, doing a lot of live streams, a lot more educational healing, because a lot of people feel that they need more healing. They just can't afford the big ticket price. And I also have the actual bigger coaching program that's a one-on-one that is more expensive, but I wanted to do something for people, my clients, the people that I love, and that's you guys also, that you can stay in contact with me. And there's a lot of benefits for being on this platform. You don't just get my content, you get other people's content. You have a way to actually make money, and you get daily live streams. You get my Transforming Trauma podcast. You get a lot of resources, healing resources. We don't just do the live stream readings, and we don't just do, where I answer questions, but you'll also have access, like I said, to a library that has meditations and educational stuff to help you heal. And then there'll be an option to buy products at discount prices. You'll be able to also purchase my classes at discount prices or my readings at discount prices. So it's really beneficial. The link for Social Goats is in my description box, and we don't launch until the 1st of May. And what's so exciting is that this platform it's a combination between three actual platforms, which is Netflix, YouTube, and Mindvalley. So you'll be able to have access to a lot of other people's content if you want. It's just amazing. Now, again, the word of the video will also be in the description box. I am open for private readings. You guys do get a discount. Again, everything's in the description box. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Okay, the first card is self-obsession. You know, we got that one the other day. So we're actually going to shuffle and pull another one because it's not uncommon for you to get the same energy a few days in a row. You know, people don't just change that fast, especially when they're healing. They get stuck. They get stuck in a perception. When you're mad at somebody, this. Okay, so let's see. Fantasizing and self-obsession. I feel like you're connected to someone that doesn't know how to handle this situation at all. It's like they're fantasizing some days, like your future together. And sometimes they just fantasize about you sexually, and sometimes they fantasize about you yelling at them. It's what I feel like. So this person is all over the place. They're not grounded. They're thinking about how they treated you, they're thinking about how they look now. And I feel like this person has had a lot of changes in their life. And because they've had a lot of changes in their life, haven't been 100% positive. This person doesn't really know who they are anymore. I feel like they went through a divorce, when they went through a separation or a breakup, or it was a significant breakup. But the thing is, it's almost like they didn't just like break up with this person. It's almost like they broke up with their entire family. So they're kind of an island to themselves. And I feel like their financial situation has changed and their whole persona has changed. And they're thinking back on how they treated you. And again, what we see is, again, that's why that sometimes they fantasize about you and them in bed, because there is like this passion. Okay, so the underlining energy is that we don't see this person really doing anything right now. We're going to pull a few different cards. We're going to start off by actually looking to see what this person is doing now. We'll look at the triggers later. I didn't mean what I said. I feel like this person got triggered. And they got triggered because they were going through a really difficult time when you met them and they weren't honest with you. They made it sound like they wanted a relationship. They really didn't want a relationship. They wanted someone to comfort them. And so they were going through a really difficult time. And I feel like they weren't open and honest with you. And I feel like you might have asked them to do something, whether it was like, let's go out to dinner, let's spend some time together. What you were asking for was intimacy. And like, that this person wasn't really giving you anything. And they got triggered. And they got triggered and they made it sound like they really like didn't have time for you and that it wasn't really that important, making you assume that you weren't that important. And because they were going through things for a long time and they weren't transparent with you, this person was never really there for you, is what I see. I'm afraid of losing you. You are the first person to make me feel this way. So I feel like this person is not good emotionally. And I feel like they also have major intimacy issues. I feel like their past relationship ended because this person is not, they're not transparent. They don't show any vulnerability. They don't show their emotions. They're very guarded. And I feel like the last person got annoyed with them because that's why this person got triggered when you said, hey, let's go to dinner. Let's do something. Spend some time with me, is pretty much what you were saying. And this person here heard that from their previous relationship. So they treated you almost like they took out on you what they should have really took out on the previous person. And I say that because I feel like they were in a bad relationship for a long time, where this person just didn't give anything to the relationship. And the more that they stayed in the connection to this karmic, the more angry the karmic had gotten until finally, like it ended, that the relationship ended. But this person has a really hard time being intimate. of trusting people, of really showing emotion, of really being vulnerable. And so normally they're here for a good time, not a long time. They give not really a lot of energy to anybody when they're in a connection. And they were in a connection with somebody that was begging for emotionally for attention. And what I feel is that this person was so detached for a long time because they never gave that person intimacy, not the intimacy that they needed. That what happened is that their partner berated them every day, was yelling at them every day, like it's being like, you don't do anything, you don't take me anywhere, you don't go anywhere, you don't make me. And so there was really a lack of passion over time that which destroyed the connection. So your person was running around like really talking to other people and acting as if they were single the entire time. Now, what I'm feeling is I'm feeling like this is very similar to the conversation I was going to say, to the conversation we had yesterday on this channel. And that's because it's pretty much the same energy. We'll probably see different aspects of the situation, but this is why this person is so self-obsessed right now. It's like they're not in a good way. We saw yesterday that the person was going through a dark night of the soul, or I think that they were going through a dark night of the soul. Or if it wasn't yesterday, it was last week. Now, I feel like I can be my true self around you. So, like I said, this person was connected to somebody that they couldn't be their true self. And they couldn't be their true self because they said, every day that that karmic was in a relationship pretty much with somebody that emotionally wasn't giving them anything. So it was like, imagine living with a roommate and not even a roommate that's present. When this person was there, they were checked out because what makes us want to even be present is the connections that we have, the things that we're doing, the things that, stir up our soul, things that we're excited about, things that we're passionate about. Otherwise, what happens? Every day is Groundhog's Day. And when every day is Groundhog's Day, you're not really as present. You wind up going on autopilot. So this person that's been connected to that karmic, like lived on autopilot for a long time. And so that, like I said, that karmic was like, you don't give me attention, you don't give me love, you don't show me like anything. And then this person started to come around you and they had all the same habits and behaviors of what it was like to be with the karmic. And they also couldn't give you anything because I feel like they were going through something. So they weren't transparent. They acted like they didn't care about you. And now here it is. It's like they're like, they reacted. They didn't mean what they say. And what they say is like again, now I'm afraid of losing you because it's been a long time. You haven't talked to me. And they know that they have to come back to you. And that's hard, again, because this person has a hard time with vulnerability. They have a hard time with being transparent. They have a hard time showing their emotions. But they know if they don't come back, that you're not going to come back and that they're going to lose you. And the problem is that for the first time in their life, they feel like they can be who they are around you. And the reason why is because when this person said whatever they said to you, you didn't say anything back. You just disconnected. You let this person go through whatever the situation was that they were going through. And this person feels like maybe you knew that they were going through something intuitively because you didn't react. You didn't yell at them. You didn't tell them how they were ignoring you, how they weren't giving you, because that's what this person hears over and over and over again from every single relationship to the point that they have trust issues because they wind up going into the relationship anyway. And then, people think that they can change them, by, complaining and and threatening and fights and arguments about the lack of intimacy. And that's not in the bedroom. It's a lack of intimacy with creating memories, deep memories. This person's checked out. And that's because they were never really strong within themselves. So again, you're the first person to make them feel this way because you didn't, again, say, hey, You want to be with me? Then you need to do X, Y, Z. You know what? You're not treating me right. You're disrespecting me. Like this person hears all of it. That's not what you did. You were like pretty much okay. And your energy just went away. It's like you didn't like, and so that's the thing when you can let a person go through something, and even when you don't like the way that that person handles it, because that person's not thinking about you. It's like that you had mercy on this person where I feel like that karmic never really did. So this person always felt like they had to wear a mask. And it's tiresome to have to wear a mask. It's tiresome to have to be a chameleon. And here it is. It's like you walked away. What you said is like, well, if you're not going to be respecting me, like I'm not going to, or giving me anything, I'm not going to sit here and give to you. You're obviously going through whatever you're going through, and I'm just going to keep you right there. And so again, now that their relationship is over, finally with that karmic, but understand because this person doesn't give anything and they're in a connection with someone that has poured into them, because you can't be in a relationship with nobody giving energy. So again, every relationship, this person normally has other people put in almost all of the effort and energy, when it comes to keeping the family together, where they don't give anything to that person, if there's a family, otherwise they're just kind of like coming there to like sleep with the person or eat and not really ever take the person out, never really create experiences. No, they're doing that with other people because there's no emotional connection, and there's no emotional connection because this person has never been emotionally transparent or vulnerable. And when you walked away from this person, like you didn't tell this person that that's what they needed to do, but notice how they automatically dropped into that energy, which everybody wants from this person, but they don't know how to give it. It's like you let this person find their own process. And where I feel like every other person that gets into a relationship with this person says, you need to love me this way. You need to do it this way. So unconditional love, there is no ownership, there is no expectation. What this person, you allow this person to do is actually fall in love with you and find their own way. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to be automatically emotionally, like all of a sudden intelligent. No, but this person will be more willing. They won't come across as arrogant. They won't come across as defensive. Like that's normally what other people get from this their relationship with this person. And it's because they're like, I don't know how to just give you. And it's like, I don't know how to love you, like without you, like without the relationship, like where this person feels like they don't lose themselves in the relationship, where the relationship doesn't take over them. So understand this person says to you, you think that they're not listening to you, but they are. It's that they hear everything that you say and even replay your conversations over and over and over and over and over and over in their head. It's just, again, it's that this person processes. They're a very logical person. They're a thinker, and they have a lot of blockages around relationships with trust. So again, they will listen to what you say, but listen to it from all different perceptions. And the problem is that when you say something, they're not really showing you any emotion. When you're interactive with a person and you're having a conversation and you're saying like, hey, got a new job, or I had this person doesn't really show that much emotion. It's like they're so guarded. So of course you don't think that they're listening. You're like, or that they don't care. Worse, when they do care, it's more or less like this person doesn't feel safe to be vulnerable, is what we see here. I'm not going to give in to fear. I know fear is only an illusion. Past lives are influencing our connection. I've lost you in other lifetimes, and that makes me really afraid. I need to heal the grief to allow the love to bloom. So, again, this is a past life karmic connection. And this person, like, there's a lot of deja vu, there's a lot of spiritual energy here. So, this person is getting a lot of help from the divine. And I do feel like there's a spiritual connection. So, this is where they are now. It's again, I'm conflicted about whether I have what it takes to be your partner, which is really what the root problem is. So you know that this person was vibrating at a low vibration. So you know that their habits and their behaviorisms and how they treated you was definitely, going to be imbalanced. And it's not because of you, it's because of them. However, being with someone that is insecure is going to awaken wounds within inside of you. And that's why, the divine brought this person into your life. Is again, union is an energy, not a physical construct. Even when we aren't together, I feel our union. And this person is learning that, the past life connection is ESP through the heart and mind. It transcends time and space. This person didn't talk to you for a while. They held back. They acted foolish. Understand all through it all, what they realize is it's like, wait a minute, like I still have feelings for you. I still feel like you have feelings for me. This is bigger energy, an energy that they really have never experienced. And I feel like they've never experienced it because most people come into their life and it's like, give me, give me, give me this. You don't make me feel this way. You need to do this for me. You need to over time because it seems like this person is like checked out. So, like I said, you allowed this person. You might have gotten so frustrated. Sometimes I feel like you're speaking to me in my head. At times it triggers me because I wonder how much you can see into me. Now, this is a past life karmic connection. So, this person knows that it's time for them to evolve. But they're afraid because understand they still have habits and behaviorisms that, you know, are out of alignment with their true self. Because if this person is the avoidant time, and if they're the type of person to you know not have a real hard time being transparent and vulnerable, well, we're probably going to see addictions. We're probably going to see again like the sabotaging behaviors. And the reason why is because this person doesn't know how to be like express themselves. They don't feel safe around people. And that happens when you grow up in an environment where the mother or the father is either violent or, like there's some major traumatic experiences with that caregiver, with the caregivers of it, because again, at such a young age, they've been conditioned that it's not safe to speak, again, because they would get yelled at, or again, they would, be told how to think, why to think, which understand in very imbalanced households where the parent is a narcissist, that's what happens. It's like you're not allowed to have an opinion. You're an extension of them, of the narcissist. So the next solstice equinox will bring an important shift. So I feel like this person is going to come back to you soon. It's again, I feel like it's going to be the summer equinox. And our love will manifest through the union of heart and mind. Expanding these areas allows our love to grow. So understand this person knows that it's a soul mate connection. It's like because you've affected them and you affected them, I think mainly because you, like I said, showed this person a different reality, that they could actually be with someone that allowed them to be themselves, that they could be comfortable, that they could have their own unfoldment process. They feel they've watched you a lot. However, are they conflicted a little bit? Yeah, they still have self-esteem issues because when they look back on all their relationships are horrible, but they're basing it on the fact that a lot of times they were with people that had that anxious attachment style where they were abandoned growing up, and now this person's avoidant. They grew up with an avoidant, so they recreated that dynamic of, one person doing everything and the other person really not doing anything, and just being in an unfilled relationship, where when you're in an fulfilled relationship, well, then most of the time you have an unfulfilling life. And so the relationship becomes more of a codependent type relationship where both parties need each other, not want each other. And so there's cheating, there's alcoholism, there's drugs, there's whatever, because it's energetically over time feels boring. It feels like we're not here to actually live every day like Groundhog's Day. That's not what we're supposed to be doing down here. We're actually supposed to be feel like living and creating our life, like the best way that we know how to do that. But if we can't do that if there's continuous like spiritual blockages, and or we're nervous around our environment, and that's triggering the spiritual blockages, where really at this point this person like at least recognizes who you are, the importance of this connection, what they did. And really what they do is they wind up always for a long time conforming to the other person, because being with somebody that is yelling at you, saying, hey, you don't do this for me, you don't do that for me, you don't do this for me, this is what they do. But they're not being fulfilled. They're fulfilling the other person, but it's not, it's almost like it's like a spoiled kid. They make the person into a spoiled kid because emotionally they can't give. So what they'll do is they'll give monetarily, or they'll give like through other ways, through doing the acts of service, where that's what most of the people fall in love with. They fall in love with that, like what this person can do for them over time, because they're not giving them emotionally and they're not showing up emotionally. And then this person thinks that they can't really be in a relationship because people only really want them for money, but they don't realize that that's what they're doing. And so it winds up being very burdensome, because it's like, they're taught that um they're taught that love is transactionary, that they have to give in order to get back. And so of course they don't go deep within relationships then. Of course they go into every relationship where they're treating it like a transaction. It's okay that I sleep with you because I bought you dinner. It's okay that I, you know, sleep with you because I fixed your faucet. Whatever it is, it's like that you don't do anything, nothing for nothing. And what this person is realizing is there's still unconditional love between you and this person, that they may not agree or even know how to communicate the way that you do, and vice versa. You may not even understand why this person doesn't communicate, but there's still unconditional love. That what happens is that you surrendered to like what it is. You didn't say, I'm going to make you be this. This is what it is. I'm not happy. I'm not going to tolerate it, but I'm not going to badmouth you. I'm not going to make you do it. I'm not. And that gave this person enough space to really realize that they have a lot of trauma around relationships. They have a lot of trust issues around relationships. And what happens is when you have a lot of trust issues around relationships, you always have to create like an image, because you're fragmented. You feel like there's something wrong with you. You feel like there's something that like there's emptiness, because you're not building authentic, deep connections. And why are we here? We're here in the physical form to learn and to manifest. What are we supposed to be learning? We're supposed to be learning that we're not separate from love, the energy of the universe, the energy of God. That when we're in that energy, we actually have supernatural powers. We're able to manifest whatever it is that we want when we're in that energy. But This person is not in their energy if they're creating a self-image. So it's almost like you are breaking that illusion that they need, that to have this self-image that they could actually be loved and accepted for who they are. And that's huge because they've always felt empty. And that's because things are not going to fulfill you. We can feel good if we buy a beautiful house. We can feel great if we drive a beautiful car, and wear nice clothes, but all those things are temporary. Why do we do all those things? Why do we want all those things? Because we want love. And so some people think that respect is love. Oh, that people think that if you admire them, that that's love. Everybody has a different view of love. That's why God is unconditional love, and that's the energy of the universe. So is it isn't, there's no rules. You wind up coming to a place of surrender because you can't control it. Love is a construct, it's an energy, it can't be broken. It said it here. That's what this person is learning. Like all the others were karmics because, those loves were transactionary. Those loves they had to do, they had to become someone else in order to be loved, to feel safe, which brought them back to their inner child, which wasn't happy times. So what's happening is, again, now that you're in separation from this person, I feel like they're getting jealous. So they are changing their old habits and creating new habits because, again, they're tired of being imbalanced. They're imbalanced, they can feel it. And that imbalance is where they need to feel like be seen as perfect. And to this person, not having any emotions for whatever reason is associated with perfect, which it's not. It's just this person I think is a sensitive person, but they grew up in an environment where, and it was the time that it was inadequate. Like you felt inadequate if you were an emotional person. So this person has a lot of fear when it comes to being able to be true to themselves, even if the environment isn't telling them, hey, you can't do that. Like I said, what happens when you have trauma, it distorts your perceptions. And so the person is normally overly sensitive anyway to any type of criticism about them not giving people enough emotional attention, about not showing up. They're sensitive to begin with. This person wants to show up, but they want to show up the way that they want to show up without being told what to do. And because their process is slower, because they're not 100% safe, people have to be patient. And most of the time, this person winds up getting people, again, that have that attachment style. Remember, the universe brings us people and situations to help change us and heal us. And when you have an anxious attachment style and you have an avoidance style, well, if the attachment style becomes more independent, well, then the avoidant is going to become less avoidant, and that's what needed to be integrated. That karmic couldn't do it. When you walked away, what you told this person is, oh, I have no problem not having you in my life. I don't need you in my life. And that person said, this person actually wanted me in their life. This person needs me for everything that I do. They don't love me anymore because, again, too many times this person didn't show up and they were just conditioned to love that way. But with you, they're like, I want to actually give you, you're the first person to make me feel this way because they trust you. So we look and see, what are they going to do? Because it sounds like they're going to come back. It sounds like, again, yes, they are ashamed of how they treated you. I don't know why I looked over and that card was flipped up. It's not on this deck, but I had to take it because I was like, well, maybe that's spirit just saying, you know. Well, it's funny. I feel like the optical illusion is the fact that this person finally can see the difference between like a karmic and when it's true love. And so they trust themselves. The optical illusion is broken. I feel like for a long time the karmic had this person convinced that this is what love is, that you're just miserable once you once you wind up with someone for a long time and your job is to do and to feel bad. So what's happening is it's again this person has so much anxiety and is so stressed out about you like meeting someone else that it's putting so much strain that is setting everything in motion. Where again, that's why by the time that summer rolls around, that equinox, the summer equinox rolls around, well, that's when this person's going to come back into your life. Or if it's not summer, it's fall, but it's the next equinox. Okay, it's like, yes, because this is a destined connection. That's what they feel. It's karma. It's, almost like this is a past life, so we know that it's karma, but it's also like part of the dharma in learning, in integrating, in healing. A lot of times our past life connections are all about healing. They're all about healing family karma. So the Dharma is the soul's path to help you on your soul's path. And that's what this person comes in. And it's again, a destined connection. We see that. So, at this point in time, this person may seem as if they're like a cool cat, like they don't have a problem, but I feel like they're acting like that. It's the self-image. So you may think, how come they're not coming to me sooner? Well, they don't have their life together. Like, so they're getting their life together. So they're acting like they don't really care. They're not like engaging, but in the right time spirit saying this person comes to you. It's again, and they're going to extend themselves. They're going to extend themselves to you because they've done the self-improvement. So they are going to come to you, but we don't exactly know when they're going to come to you, but you're going to hear it. You're going to, again, they're going to express themselves. It's like they know for a fact that they're going to come to you. Again, I guess the way we do know, it's just we don't have a week or a day. We just know it's going to be the next equinox. So it might, I always feel like spirit has no time. So if it's not summer, it's in the fall. But I'm feeling like it's going to be more summertime. That's what I'm feeling. So you have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? What are you supposed to learn? You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. Why are you attracting this person into your life? And you always have free will, even though this person's gonna come back, you may say, no, I don't really want to take this person back. Spirit doesn't care. You have free will. However, spirit does care that this person like learned. And sometimes we learn through pain and suffering, and it's because we learned too late. So it's again, this is a collective reading. Some of you guys will take this person back. Some of you guys won't take this person back. But I feel like if there really is love, you guys will take this person back. So again, first card out is abuse. This card fell out and it's innocence. We have to take it because it fell. That one just jumped out and we know that that's support. Magic. Lies and secrets. Overwhelmed and disassociated. Those are the inner child wounds. So when we go through trauma, we detach, we disassociate. It's a survival mechanism. It's how we learn to cope. So understand you grew up with abuse, whether that was psychological, emotional, or physical. The mind doesn't know the difference. But over time, as a child, is that you don't feel safe if you're being bullied by a parent. So you disassociated because you were so overwhelmed and you didn't tell anyone. It's not like this was a big lie. It was the big secret that you had a parent that was abusive and that you really didn't have any support. So the innocence was robbed. So you weren't really a child because, again, you were too busy surviving. So, again, the child that survives thrives because, again, get magic. Why? Because they detach, they disassociate, and they wind up going into the psychic realm. They enhance their psychic abilities because it's not safe to live with a parent that's abusive. So they become almost like an animal where they use their senses to make sure whether or not the environment is safe. Because children, again, they're not really logical of why that parent is doing what they're doing. They don't know, oh, the parent is bipolar or if they're an alcoholic. They don't know. They just know that they're not safe. Just like an animal will know if another animal is in the environment that it might eat them or it might harm them. Their senses, they tap into their psychic abilities. Well, this is what you did. And so, the sound of your mother's like voice, the tone in her voice, you knew whether or not she was drinking. What was going on, what the house smelled like, even because again, she would clean when she drank. So the smell of lemon. So you automatically knew your intuition was like, I smell the cleaning products, I smell the cigarettes. I know that there's been drinking. And then, you also knew by the stage that she was in. If again that parent was happy and laughing, or whether they were screaming, you knew how much time you had to get out of the house because that person again like went through stages. You witnessed it before. You saw it. Your intuition was telling you by what you smelled, what you sensed, what you felt, what you knew. And so you became very psychic, but you didn't become very logical or analytical. You didn't structurize yourself. You had a hard time learning because ADHD like mirrors that trauma, so a lot of times like psychologists really can't tell the difference between whether it's ADHD or child abuse. And the reason why is because children can't run away, they can't do anything. They're dependent on that parent. So the only thing they can do is disassociate. But when you disassociate, you go into the psychic realm, you go into the astral realm, you're no longer present. You're thinking about what you got to do, what you have to do, what you might do for survival. So you become again more, more, more like not like an animal because you're not an animal, but your senses become so heightened like an animal. And that's where the magic comes. That's why they say the child that survives thrives. They can make things happen. And they know because they're pulling on those psychic, that psychic realm. And the psychic realm is not just your mental, what you imagine, it's your emotions. And when empaths go through that type of trauma, because that's what happens when you become overly sensitive, you wind up getting like you become overly sensitive. So it heightens your psychic abilities, but then you're also a lot of times getting, where are those cards? So annoying. Like I'm turning around like, where the hell are those freaking cards? Damn it. Um, like you're, once you like have that, like again, you're the heightened of psychic abilities, you don't realize that you've conditioned your nervous system, you've conditioned the way that you think, you become imbalanced because you've lived at a balance. So you're gonna do other things to create balance. is what I'm trying to get at. And where are those cards? It's like I had them right over here. I can't stand that. There's nothing more annoying to me that when I can't find my stuff, I get so irritated. It's like literally, I feel my blood pressure literally going up, and I'm like, where are my cards? But you know what? I know that I put them in a bag with other cards because I don't have, here they are. You know what happened? This card was hiding because I am disorganized. That's why. Okay. But they're important cards because we want to know, again, see, I told you I had two decks in there. So we want to know, we don't want to look at the hidden truths because we already saw them, but we want to see again, like, what are we supposed to be doing now? Because you understand that this energy, like, of this person's like inadequacies and not emotionally being there for you. You grew up in an environment essentially where you emotionally didn't have anything. And when a person like ignores you, by the way, where it almost feels like this person was ignoring you, but they weren't ignoring you. They just have a problem communicating, but you grew up in an environment where you didn't get that emotional connection. So there was no emotion. It was emotionally void. So it brought you back to that, even though that this person didn't intentionally try to do it. We see why the universe brought this person to you for you to learn how to work with this energy. That you're going to be more than willing to work with this energy if it's a past life karmic connection. So we look and we say, harmony within. It was to help you integrate all facets of yourself, because growing up in a family that you again became disassociated, well, obviously that's fragmentation, and you needed to learn this spiritual lesson so that you can integrate the spiritual lesson, and that would integrate all facets of yourself. So it was essential. That's why Spirit says, I don't really care whether you're going to be with this person or not, because that's essentially why this person came into your life. You have free will to choose, but it's about loving yourself, to cultivate a deep love and acceptance, which obviously, if you grew up in an environment where you were abused, you would not realize that you don't honor yourself. A lot of times, being someone that's really sensitive and being that you grew up with trauma, over giving, overdoing, being overly nice, like has taught you for the people, has really taught other people to not respect you, because again, you almost like caring too much about other people's feelings aside from your own, and people that don't like themselves or people that want to feel superior will project their inadequacies onto you. So Spirit was saying, growing up in that environment, you had to integrate that, and that was really showing that you loved yourself. And then warrior of light, like, use your passion to fight for what you believe in. So always, again, Spirit saying is your passion for life. If you're being able to manifest, you have gifts. You're supposed to be utilizing those gifts to create yourself. And so Spirit's saying, so understand, people are never gonna want you to do what's best for yourself. Everybody wants your time, your energy, your focus, and your money. Some people do it because they believe that what they know is better for you than what you know. Some people do it because, hey, it's better if you use your energy to help them. It's better if you don't, again, or if you're not as empowered, because, like I said, everybody wants your time, your energy, your focus, and your money. And I don't want to say everybody doesn't, but the majority of people in life want to utilize your resources to grow them. It's just the way the world works, right? I come up with a product, I sell that product, I want you to buy that product. I'm going to advertise it, that's going to flood your brain. I'm going to, again, have subliminal messages, that's going to make you feel a certain way. do a certain thing. Again, society doesn't, but people do it too. And so Spirit says when you have strong feelings for someone, it's easy to like give in and not stay on path because you want to give to that person and love that person. But Spirit says you have to, again, use your passion to fight for what you believe. And what you believe is, I deserve love. I deserve to be treated with respect and honor. And so it's how you are, embodying the energy of passion to feed yourself and to grow yourself, to demand respect. Because other people, again, we don't have spiritual health in this country. And so, or in a lot of other places of the world either. So people don't know how to heal themselves. But when you're around people that, like I said, want to utilize your energy for them or don't want you to be as confident because it makes them feel unconfident, the way that you override all of that is you embody the energy of your passion, because that is the energy of God. That's the energy of the universe. And it's real, authentic passion. It's something that you love unconditionally. That is how you fight a person that you have unconditional love for that doesn't really want to be fair. And that's pretty much what you did. And that is what made this person surrender their ego. And Spirit says it's for you to continue to do that as you go into the unknown. Because when you go into the unknown, this is where true growth occurs. This is when you really find yourself. It could be because you meet new people, new situations you're put into that challenge you, that shape you, that grow you. Again, everything that's placed in your life comes into your life to help you see things differently, to help grow you, to help you evolve into the highest state of consciousness, which is a Christ consciousness, which is all about unconditional love. By surrendering our ego and actually learning, vulnerability, compassion, forgiveness, all these, in order for this connection to work, what you both will be doing is embodying those energies. It doesn't mean that it's easy, but it's required for both of you to believe. That Spirit says that you believe in yourself. It's like, it's not so much what the other person does, because people do things unconsciously all the time. It's about what you allow. And Spirit says, believe in yourself, the beauty of life, the goodness of God, and that you have the power to fulfill your dreams. The will of the Almighty supports you, that life is showered in divine light, and your heart opens to the power of the universe. And as I said, the power of the universe is that unconditional love. It's that magic pill, right? That magical pill, which there is no magic pill that heals everything, but unconditional love really does heal everything. It heals those psychological and emotional wounds that keep us stuck and fragmented so that we can't manifest our heaven on earth. But all we need to do is integrate the spiritual lesson so we can actually embody that new consciousness and erase that energetic imprint that is on the subconscious mind. We all have the power to do so. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today, and I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye.